Hi, good evening. Before we get into the City of New London's newest problem that I had found out, besides what you saw today in the paper, I'd like you to read something. I'm going to read something from the Washington Post, and you can tell me what you think.
Clark Vanderlight wants to talk to you.
What?
Clark Vanderlight wants to talk to you.
Oh. All right. We'll go to the phone. Hi, Clark.
I was going to say I was somebody else, but never mind. Hey, a couple of things about the snow, you know? Shoveling, you were mentioning shoveling. I didn't get a chance to call in last week. I got a couple of riddles for you.
Okay.
Is there a difference between your driveway and the sidewalk?
Your driveway and the sidewalk?
No, anybody's driveway. A driveway and a sidewalk.
Well,
for example, if you shovel your sidewalk, but when you get to the driveway, you don't shovel it.
right.
Okay, so nobody can walk across it.
Well,
Is that a violation? Because you're shoveling the sidewalk, you're just not shoveling the driveway.
I think you need to shovel the driveway too.
Well, the front, maybe the front part of the driveway, because if that's going to be a walking part, then I would think you'd have to shovel it. But
At least the shovel width.
not my driveway. I'm parking a sidewalk because I don't have a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, you can shovel the driveway then.
I shovel the driveway, yeah.
I only mention this because I got a ticket one time. I got a flat tire and I parked in front of my driveway. And I got a ticket for blocking a driveway.
Did you fight it?
Oh yeah, I got rid of it. But I mean, but you see, if you're blocking a driveway, even if it's your driveway, they can give you a ticket. So I'm always confused about what's a driveway and what's a sidewalk.
Yeah. You know, Clark, what's my favorite saying?
Stupid is stupid gets, or something.
No, you can't, well, no, that's Forrest Gump. You can't fix stupid.
Oh, you can't fix stupid.
And Clark, how are you going to disguise your voice? Come on.
No, I did it once and I got you, didn't I?
You did. You did. I'm gonna blame my hearing on it. My hearing aids weren't working right or something.
Hey Clark, what's the latest ordinance that you're working on?
Right now, I'm not working on an ordinance. I'm trying to clarify something about what's an agency's. Who decides who's chairman of a board or an agency? Who decides who's the secretary?
In the City of New London, Finizio does.
No. Most of your boards and agencies are nominated by the council, not the mayor.
Yeah, but the mayor sticks his nose into everything. So what difference does it make?
Well, you know, I gotta not to stick up for the mayor, but that's not totally true.
What percentage?
The council is pretty much runs the council without the mayor's interference, so I don't think that's a good word.
Clark,
Okay.
Clark, let me ask you an opinion on something. Is
Opinion.
this
Yeah,
this?
That's the name of your show. Go ahead.
I know. Okay. This charter review board that they're talking about putting in place.
Yeah.
Do you think in order for them to do that there needs to be a charter change?
No,
Why?
nothing to do with that.
Why? How is it nothing to do with it?
Because an autonomous board or an agency has nothing to do with the charter.
The sole purpose of
the charter.
the sole purpose of this board or agency is to come up with ideas on how to change the charter.
Yeah, well, don't you want? You can't come up with ideas, so there's no.
Yeah, but this isn't like me and you coming up with an idea. This is a board. This is people that, and we still don't know how they're going to be picked or elected or however they're going to do it.
Well, you don't have. Nobody has to take the ideas. They're just ideas. You're not bound by them.
But don't they want this to be like a permanent position, a seven?
Yeah, so beautification committee, that's permanent too.
Well, okay, let me throw it at you this way. When you pick a charter commission, you're picking people to make changes to the charter.
Well,
This charter review board is going to be coming up with ideas to change the charter.
What's the matter with that?
Oh.
Okay.
Can any member?
Don't you want to come up with ideas? You just want to.
I just think if it's going to have the kind of power that most people don't have, I mean, they're going to have more power to be able to control what gets put into that charter to change than.
Not at all.
Oh yeah, I disagree with you.
Disagree.
So if somebody's
my
on
opinion, I got your opinion.
Yeah, you can agree or disagree.
one more thing, if you're a member of the Charter Review Board, can you also be picked to be on the Charter Commission?
I suppose.
Don't you see where this is going to lead?
No.
No. Okay. We'll see.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care. We know who this one is, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. Hello?
Eric.
Hi, Ray.
Hey, Dennis, good afternoon. Good evening, sir.
Okay, Ray.
How are you, Eric?
I'm fine, Ray. How are you doing?
I had to call you and Dennis up.
I know, you always do. I appreciate that.
I'm doing very good.
Okay. Anything else going on?
Hey, Dennis, how you been?
Oh, I've been just wonderful. Better than I deserve.
Now,
How have you been?
I'm just taking it easy tonight, so.
All right, Ray, we've got a lot to go on to call next week, all right?
I just want to call, say hi.
Okay, thanks, Ray.
Bye.
All right, from the Washington Post. The Arctic Ocean is warming up. Icebergs are growing scarcer, and in some places, the seals are finding the water too hot, according to a report to the Commerce Department yesterday from Consultaft, at Bergen, Norway. Reports from fishermen, seal hunters, and explorers all point to a radical change in climate conditions and hitherto unheard of temperatures in the Arctic zone. Exploration expeditions report that scarcely any ice has been met as far north as 81 degrees 29 minutes. Soundings to a depth of 3,100 meters show the Gulf Stream is still very warm. Great masses of ice have been replaced by moraines of earth and stones. The report continued, while at many points well-known glaciers have entirely disappeared. Very few seals and no whitefish are found in the eastern Arctic, while vast shoals of herring and smelts, which have never before ventured so far north, are being encountered in the old seal fishing grounds. Within a few years, it is predicted that due to the ice melt, the sea will rise and make most coastal cities uninhabitable.
And where's that from?
Oh, wait a minute. I must apologize. I neglected to mention that this report was from November 2nd, 1922, as reported by the AP and published in the Washington Post 93 years ago. And what are we hearing now? Obviously, it's so typical. I mean, how anybody could believe? I am so glad that Al Gore never came. This man, he is an idiot.
Yeah, but you may not see now. He's not an idiot. He's pretty damn smart.
Well, yeah, he sold his his TV station for $100 million. I don't think it was worth $5.
But one of the things he did was he went to the government and said, "I want to build efficiency cars. I don't know if they're electric, whatever the heck they are." Government said, "Okay, we'll give you $700 million to get started." He said, "Good." Next step, he goes to the Netherlands and builds a plant and hires the people in the Netherlands to build these cars. I haven't seen one of them on the road. I don't even know what cars they are. But he's not a stupid man. He's making a ton of money off this. He's screaming about
global warming,
and all this stuff, and yet he's flying here, there, driving around in a limousine or whatever the hell he's driving. People can't see that.
You can't fix stupid. Hello, you're on.
Good evening.
Good evening.
There he is.
Have you guys been following the Iditarod at all?
Actually, no, I didn't. But I heard that earlier that it had been postponed due to no snow. It was not postponed totally. It was put back like a couple of weeks or something.
No, it's running.
Oh yeah, how much snow and ice do they have up there?
I'm leading to that right now. They had to move it a little further north, and they had to import the snow in.
From where? New England?
No, my suggestion was they didn't follow it. I said they should move the Iditarod to Connecticut.
You're right. I don't think that's a bad idea. We've had more rough winter than Alaska has since November, they said.
Yeah, actually the rest of the country has been warmer for the last couple of weeks. They've had a cold spell that went all the way down south.
Right.
Deep down, even into Florida. It was funny, but I got an answer from Alaska when I suggested that the Iditarod move to Connecticut.
I think it's a good idea.
I do too. They did. You know what they told me?
What?
They told me that they would rather put runners on the tails of the dogs and put sleds on their feet than come to Connecticut.
Who told you this?
Alaska.
Hey, Brian, they're probably worried because they'd have to pay a tax.
Yes. They would have to pay a split tax. They said they're not willing to pay that.
Listen, Brian, I'm going to run a few pictures in a few minutes.
Okay.
Call back and let me know your opinion.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Okay, two other quick things before I go into my big story I wanted to, that really has irked me this weekend. Finally, a country with balls. Good for them. Now it's up to other countries to follow. Norway just showed us the way. This was posted on March 2nd, 2015 by Trail Dust FOTM. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Norway just deported 824 Muslims. Every American needs to see what happened next. Norway recently made the controversial decision to deport a large amount of Muslims with ties to radical groups. Despite all the liberals in Norway deeming this racist, the logical party went ahead with it, and the result almost shut down every opposing voice in the government instantly. This is one of the best stories we have seen come from such a liberal area in the world. Violent crime dropped 30%. That's right, a whopping 30%. It's all because a couple of politicians decided to enforce the laws they already have. What a world we live in. That is a shocking thing to do in a government. Norwegian Authority claims 824 people were deported in October. For such a small country, that's a record-breaking number. The authority attributed the change to portfolio priorities, which have essentially made it easier to deport people back to Nigeria and Afghanistan. While most Americans and Europeans will call this unfair to target a certain race or religion, we tend to lean on the side that does anything possible to stop evil from creeping in our backyards. And last that I have, this is one that is shorter. Valerie Jarrett, does everybody know who she is? This is Obama's top advisor. Just type in her name on the website, many different places to check her out. Valerie Jarrett, the top Muslim in the top power seat, Obama's top advisor. This is a quote. I am an Iranian by birth and of my Islamic faith. I am also an American citizen, and I seek to help change America to be more Islamic country. My faith guides me, and I feel like it's going well in the transition of using freedom of religion in America against itself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Obama's top advisor. Seems as if his promise to fundamentally change America is in full swing. Had enough yet?
I'm speechless.
Okay. Saturday, I went to visit a couple of friends at the Gordon Court low-income housing off of William Street in New London. And I drive in, it's a cul-de-sac, a round cul-de-sac, okay? Because they have an island in there. It's still a cul-de-sac, a turnaround.
By the Coast Guard Academy.
And the plowing was done terribly, first of all, and that's the city's responsibility. You've got basically a two-lane road that is down to one. Cars are parked on both sides, which I believe is illegal, considering, I'm not sure, considering one side of the road is supposed to be clear during the winter. And the paths to the residence housing are anywhere from less than 1.5 feet wide to maybe 2 feet wide, maybe a little more, maybe. But not even all on the concrete paths. Some of them, obviously, they don't know how to shovel because they shoveled on grass, mud networks, but it's icy. Mary Jane, go ahead, and I'll describe a lot of this. This is going to take a few minutes. I hope you people have can tolerate this, but this is disgusting because this is low-income housing, handicapped. You're seeing some of the paths already. Some people in wheelchairs, elderly housing. Now they have a front door and they have back doors, which if you open up the exit back doors, you could not get out. There were 3 to 4 feet of snow in the way. And I'm going to read something from the Housing Authority in a few minutes. But I went to talk to not just the 2 people I went to visit, but I ended up speaking with a lot of the residents there. They had called up the New London Housing Authority, had spoken with, I guess her name is Sue Chantel, and had also spoken with an assistant, Jennifer. What you're seeing are narrow pathways, icy water. Look at that. That's terrible. You can't walk on that. And they said, well, we're going to get to it, but it's taking time. Now, a lot of these pathways have been like this since January. When was the blizzard? January 26th?
Oh, I don't remember.
And this has not been cleared, and they're going to get to it. A lot of people are frustrated or angry, and that's going right to one of the residents' apartments. That's a hazard.
And these people on the average age of, what, 70?
70s, 80s. You've got a lot of people in the 60s there too. But there are a lot of people who are handicapped.
Not just handicapped.
Electric wheelchairs.
Walkers.
This is terrible.
Canes.
So I made 3 phone calls. One to Mike Passero, Marty Olson, and then Mike Tranquita, all on the New London Council. Marty Olson and Mike Tranquita had to leave messages.
Running for mayor.
Right. I got Mike Tranquita.
That doesn't even look like it's done.
That goes right up to the garbage area where you can't throw your garbage. Unbelievable, right? The only one I got to speak with, now there's a lot of water there and it's icy. I was there today also. It's still really icy, but all water and icy. They haven't done a thing yet. And that was at 12:15 when I went to today. Mike Tranquita said he was in the area. He was going to go look at this area, and he would get back to me. He hadn't gotten back to me yet. I received a phone call from Mike Passero. That is the back of the apartments where those exit doors would be, and there is no way you can get out those apartments.
Look how high okay, we'll talk about that after.
Okay. I received a phone call from Mike Passero later that evening, and he said he would look into it. Marty Olson did get back to me the next, I think, yesterday, or he left a message. I called him back. I also called Henry Kidd, the chief of the fire department, and he stated that he couldn't send a special person he wants to there until Monday. But within minutes, 3 people from the fire department were there. One gentleman was taking pictures, so he's got all of this too. And then there was a Lieutenant Wargo. All these guys were really, really nice guys. And he was talking with Henry, and he told Henry he was talking with me, and he put me on the phone with Henry and said that they were going to take care of this. And they agreed. There were a lot of violations. Now, what really bothers me is this past year, there had been lawsuits by Robert Reardon to the New London Housing Authority for the Crystal Avenue apartments. This is all, what you're seeing is all snow-covered paths, and this is going to be both Riozzi Court, which is off Coleman, and Gordon Court off of Williams. A lot of the residents there had said, one resident said she had to pay somebody $20 to clear a path to her door. Now that should be terrible. That's Gordon Court. These residents shouldn't have to pay money to have people clear this. This should have been the job. This is the New London because it's a street. They're responsible. But the paths are responsible from the New London Housing Authority.
I'm surprised they don't tell these people they can't hire someone to clear their path because it might...
They should send bills to the New London Housing Authority.
It might be,
But they're afraid because Sue Chantel intimidates these people, and apparently one of her assistants, Jennifer, this is terrible, has 2 relatives living, from what they told me, in these low-income apartments. They're not handicapped, they're not elderly, they said. They may not even be low income. And they're afraid, some of these people are afraid that they're going to get thrown out.
well, it's very easy to intimidate old people.
It is.
No disrespect of saying old people, but they are old.
Elderly. So, and I'm concerned because I've seen some of these people professionally for physical therapy. And I went there today, as I said, at 12:15, and nothing had been done. I was able to get this important snow removal notice. At 4:15, I called again. Nothing has been done.
As of today.
As of today.
Even though they said they were going to do something.
Important snow removal notice. This is from Sue Chantel. We at the New London Housing Authority understand your frustration with the removal of the snow and the weather conditions. First lie. They're frustrated? Really? The staff is trying very hard to keep up with not only emergencies and daily work, but also the removal of snow. Second lie. In the morning, the sun shines and melts the snow, and then with the evening temperatures, it freezes over. We have been out to shovel, plow walkways, and throw down sand salt. We ask that when walking to please proceed with caution. Really? We have been out. What are you seeing here? You see, the morning, they're hoping the sun stays out for the past 2 days, it's been nice, that it will clear out these areas. If this was our walkways and people fell, they'd be able to sue us.
We do have, the city does have a little tiny bucket loader that's about as wide as a sidewalk. They could have went down there the day or the day after the snow started to fall and cleared a path, and it would have been easy to keep it up after that point. Right. Now, there's also, we found out in our other shows that the high school students have to do don't have to, but they do community service. Why can't they get together as a group, make a party out of it, and go and clean these people's things?
Absolutely.
What happens when you have the emergency and you got paramedics and stuff have got to get into these places?
Last week or 2 weeks ago, they told me an ambulance had to come in, could not get through. It was snowing that day. I think it was the Monday or Tuesday. They had to park right at the beginning of the street, take out the gurney, go all the way to the end of the street, get the patient, wrap her up, it was snowing, and roll her back in because they could not get the ambulance in there.
Well, you have to tax them.
Yeah. The Housing Authority has confirmed with the City of New London building inspector and fire marshal, in accordance with the building code, your back door is considered an exit of convenience, and therefore snow removal is not required. Really?
Are you kidding me?
Elderly person, 70 and older, is going to be able to climb through a window? New London Housing Authority is responsible to clear your front entrance walkway and the sidewalks. They didn't speak to the fire marshal until Saturday or Sunday or Monday, thank you, Mary Jane, because I called and they had never even spoke to them yet. I called Saturday. And the New London Housing Authority is not responsible for plowing the street. It is a city street, and if you have any complaints regarding the plowing of the street, please contact Department of Public Works. I'm sure a lot of people have done that anyway with the normal streets in New London. As a courtesy, the New London Housing Authority asks that you please not clear a parking area and place objects in the street to hold your parking spot for safety purposes. That is done there, and it was done in Boston, and Boston made an ordinance. You can't do that. They were just saving those parking spots. It's illegal. And if you also know, and if you know you did not shovel out the area, please do not take someone else's spot, for they worked hard to clear. As always, please feel free to contact your property manager if you have any issues. Thank you for your cooperation in this frustrating time. This is one huge lie.
And it's not just this one spot.
No, and yeah, more than one spot, but this is more than one time that people have contacted. I've heard these remarks about Sue Chantel for years. Why is this woman still allowed to be the overseer of the New London Housing Authority? She should have been fired a long time ago. But from what I understand, now Marty told me, is that she works for the New London Housing Authority. But apparently, the same thing that's done in the councils of the Housing Authority obviously thinks they work for her. The Housing Authority needs to fire her, her assistants, get all new people, and get this work done, because there's only 2 people in this in this country that deserve to being taken care of: the veterans and the elderly. If you're young, you should be able to take care of yourself. Don't hand me the crap with the disabilities and stuff, because I see too many people with disabilities out there clearing and doing work also.
This statement in here about the back door being an exit of convenience is a crock. Because there's windows that makes it an exit of convenience. If there's a fire and the only way they can get out is that back door, is it still a convenience? Well, if you have a 70 or 80-year-old elderly person in there that's on a walker, a cane, a wheelchair, anything, they're going to climb out a window?
Right. But the windows are in front, where the front door is. There are no windows in the back.
So the only windows in the place is the front?
In the front.
So if there's a fire in the front of the place, you're screwed?
Yeah, you've got a window, I think, in your bathroom.
Maybe not. You're not going to get through a window in your bathroom.
Not considering it's high. So if everybody is disgusted like I was, Sue Chantel's numbers, 860-443-2851. Call her up and tell her, resign.
I want to also know where the families of these elderly people that live there are. If my mother or father was in that place, and that place looked like that, I'd be screaming. Screaming. I'd be at the mayor's office screaming, asking them, what's the matter? Why do you think elderly people don't vote?
Right. But
one of the biggest voting blocks we have in this city is elderly.
Dave Collins wrote an article on March 8th, no mayor to clear the city sidewalks.
I want all you seniors out there that are watching this, pass the word along. Call your mayor. Tell him you want this place cleaned up. Don't wait for Mother Nature to do it, because you can't trust Mother Nature. She showed us that this year. You don't mess with her. And then she's shown us why you don't. And you're going to keep waiting until nature takes its course and all the snow and everything's gone? How many lawsuits will we possibly have between now and then because of situations like this? And come on, folks, those are your parents that are living in there. Some of you people's parents are there.
So give us a call now and give us your opinion. Don't just sit on the side, on your couches or chairs and think about what we have said. This is important. This is still New London. And you wonder why people are not coming to New London. There are too many issues in New London that things aren't getting done. What are our taxes paying for? We don't even get garbage picked up every week now.
My garbage is still out in the front of my house.
From over a week ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and I had a neighbor call to find out if they were going to pick up, and they said, oh yeah, we're working on it. We'll get there.
So not just this, you had a situation which I already read about. Bring up the other lawsuit now.
Oh, this newest lawsuit is the gentleman sometime back who was tasered twice and then ended up dying, I guess, because of it or because he had medical conditions, and this just made it worse. The family is going to sue the city. They have intentions of suing the city. I can't even say his last name. I think his last name is Gilbert. This was a situation where the police were called and he was supposedly trying to get inside a car while there was a person in there, and he was trying to carjack the car. So they arrested him, they tased him, then they brought him down to the police station, they put him in a cell. Supposedly he got out of the cell, he attacked an officer, and I think somebody else, I forget who else, and they tasered him again. Then they took him to the hospital and he died. Now, my concern is, it seems lately in this country that people that commit crimes of any kind, when something happens to them in the course of the crime being committed, that all of a sudden, everybody's suing. And the fact of what led up to that seems to get lost in the process. You know, I don't know how many more times we can be sued. Does this family have the right to sue? I don't know. Did the gentleman, you know, my opinion, if everything I've read is true or half true, the gentleman contributed to his own death. I don't care if you like that statement or not, folks. That's the fact. You know, it's you commit a crime, you know something's going to happen.
Want to take a call?
Yeah, take a call.
Good evening, you're on.
Yes, very good job. I wish a lot of seniors would get together here at Gordon Court and make a complaint. But we're all scared that they'll throw us out. What do we want? What do we want with all this?
I think you should respect everybody together. I know there's an organization there. You have a group or an organization, and you all should make phone calls. They can't throw everybody out, and then if you do, I suggest if they even threaten you, you call Robert Reardon, attorney in New London, who probably is the best attorney in New London today, aside from Linda Mariani. I mean, they're both excellent, the best. Call Bob Reardon. He went against the New London Housing Authority with Crystal Avenue Apartments. And he won. Tell every one of those, your neighbors who live at Gordon Court, call Sue Chantel and demand her resignation.
Another thing you should consider doing is get a hold of Channel 8, get a reporter over there, and get as many people as you can from your area, from where you live, to meet with a reporter and tell that reporter your concerns about what's happening. Tell them the fear that you have, that you're being intimidated, or you feel you're being intimidated. You're afraid to speak up because you're afraid you're going to be thrown out. How dare anybody tell you that if you speak up, you're going to get thrown out? You shouldn't have to live with that fear.
Okay. And how about the garbage cans? I rode through there. I see the garbage barrels in the road. That's taking up a little of our parking.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Talk to you about that.
Unfortunately, I think you still public works. Yeah. Because they pick up the garbage.
But see, the thing is, they don't have any way. I don't know who's putting the garbage cans out in the road. Is it the residents that are doing it?
Residents do that.
I would leave them on the...
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I know on regular street, the residents put out their garbage cans every time they get picked up.
Yeah, but then how are we supposed to put them back? The place is not clear.
Well, you're at Gordon Court, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, you bring your garbage and throw them in that garbage area where the cans are. You can't even get to those garbage cans.
That's right.
So somebody else has to put that there for you.
You know, it's not like, you know, you're living there for free.
And as far as the back door, we have little windows, all right? And they're way up high. You tell me how we're supposed to climb out of that.
I think someone should call. I think someone...
Impossible.
You know what? Call up the State of Connecticut Housing Authority. I'm sure there is a State of Connecticut Housing Authority, or go call up your... I would call Ernie Hewitt or something like that.
Yeah, Ernie Hewitt. I would call Ernie Hewitt. I would also, if you're not getting any satisfaction down that road, I would call OSHA, the State of Connecticut's OSHA, whatever they have. I mean, they were here for the travesty at the transfer station when that poor gentleman died. I don't care what they say with this letter about being a back door as an exit of convenience. That's crazy. That's downright crazy. You know, your lives could be at risk. Like I was telling Eric, if there's a fire in the front of your place, you got nowhere to go. That's a safety issue. That's a safety issue. The mayor should be on top of this.
Please get all your neighbors together. Make multiple phone calls a day. Call every day that nothing is done and complain, and then call the city. You know, once something Hartford, call the mayor, call Ernie Hewitt. Make multiple phone calls. Get your your association together and tell them call, because nothing's going to get done if you don't get enough calls.
You know, once something like this is made public through the press and stuff like that, as far as being intimidated where you feel you're going to get thrown out, it does away with a lot of that, because now if something happens, you always got a recourse to say, well, this happened to me because we went public with this issue.
Correct.
And then get a lawyer and contact one of the lawyers. So thank you very much. We have another call.
Oh, good show. Good show.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Hello, you're on.
Betsy Ritter.
Is she still around?
Betsy Ritter was appointed,
Oh,
I think,
right.
director for aging.
The Department of Aging. She took over for
I would suggest that she might be somebody that would be interested in that situation. See, that is probably next agent. I also have, Ernie Hewlett's also a good suggestion. I can tell you from personal experience that the man is very concerned and he's a very good representative.
Well, one thing about Ernie, he likes his elderly.
Yes.
Well, that's a big voting block for him.
Yeah.
you know what?
He gets stuff done, so.
Maybe we should contact
How you doing, Brian?
I'm still there.
Okay.
You trying to blow us up?
No, I think my back door was giving me trouble here.
Okay.
Speaking of back doors, I have to give you a disclaimer. I'm not really up on fire codes and everything, but I believe those buildings are required to have 2 means of exit.
That's what I thought. Mary Jane told us differently. With windows, and you don't have to have. A window could be used as an exit, but.
Who told you that?
Uh-oh.
Who said that?
Mary Jane from here. Our wonderful. I wouldn't trade her for the world.
Oh yeah, no, it's maybe right. I honestly don't know.
So.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem logical, Brian. I mean, especially in a situation like this, that's the only exit in case of a fire or something in the front of the building. Where the heck are they going to go?
Yeah,
you can't expect people in walkers, people using walkers or canes, or people in a wheelchair to climb out of a window.
Yeah, again, if you talk to the fire marshal, he could give you a definitive answer because they know those codes.
You should ask the fire marshal.
But I don't know the answer to that myself.
No, I do need to call Henry again, but I also want to make those 3 fire people that came out to that same day within minutes. You couldn't ask for nicer guys. Lieutenant Wargo was unbelievable. The other gentleman who took the pictures, they both were terrific. Very supportive, and they agreed with everything I had been asking them to do. And
are excellent, including Chief Kidd.
Well, I know Henry for a long time, and we go back, and yeah, New London. This is one of New London's finest. You couldn't have asked for anybody better than Henry.
That's correct. I agree with that. The thing is, if there's an emergency or a fire, God forbid there's a fire. Those are the men and women who will have to go into those buildings to save somebody's life, and they don't want to be faced with that situation, so they will do what they can, within their power to try to help out in that situation.
Yeah, no question, no question.
It's in their power to do so.
I'm just really disappointed that nothing still had been done as of today.
Well, I know, but. This is the way things work sometimes. It's not right.
No, you're right. It's
New
not
London
right.
New London has a bad habit, or I don't know how else to put it, but they don't seem to know how to put things in priority. They just, people that are running this city I don't know. It's like they don't use the common sense God gave them. They don't think about, if you had some kind of structure going on in the city where you had things in priority, what needed to be done under different circumstances, it would run a lot smoother. During a major snowstorm like this, the first people you want to be able to get to is the handicapped and the elderly. And I am including veterans in there too. And you want to be able to make it safe that if you have to send medical people in there to get them, that they are able to get in there and get them. The other places can wait till later.
I agree, but this is a new world order. Well, this is the world we live in today. And what we have now is we have cities, and New London is no different than a lot of cities, who have very limited resources now, but they take the money, and the money, whether it's misdirected or whether there's just not enough. In New London, it's a case of not enough revenue. I mean, they've lost so much property from revenue and stuff. So now you're faced with a situation. Limited revenue means limited resources and manpower, which means that things that people have to suffer, and it's not right.
I just don't understand. We had a big tax increase last year.
We've had tax increases for the last 3 years. And we haven't seen nothing for it, in my opinion. Haven't seen crap.
The tax increases that you're getting right now, what's going on with them is they're just holding level the services that we're not getting now. And we really need to increase the revenue stream and really, we need to...
Well, that's because we're paying these people who work in New London, these high administrative jobs, they're getting paid too much money. If you cut these salaries and make people do some work for a change, maybe something would get done.
Brian, you know, people in this city don't even know what kind of money is being pulled into this city. They don't tell you. I've been trying for I don't know how long now to get 3 simple answers on the 2012, 13, and 14, how much money the city pulled in taxes. And it's just impossible to get. And if they give you anything, they give you something that is so freaking confusing that you need a lawyer just to read the damn document. The city, you know, I got this.
Why don't we get other people to run for office? I don't understand it.
We've had good people run for office, and we got good people now that are in there. I mean, the people that you mentioned before, they're really concerned and they're trying to do the best. I don't think that's part of the problem. The other problem is the ones we have in there, we have to hold their feet to the fire for accountability. But it's going to take more than just a few of us to do that. You know, we have these audits that you might have heard about are required every year, and they're supposed to be done every year. And I think that there's a delay on the audits, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of hearing the finance director say, "Oh, I just don't have the manpower to do what I'm supposed to do, what he's required to do."
Right.
And I think that's some of the problem, the frustration we have is no one is really, and everybody's powerless to hold these people's feet to the fire. And Dennis, you're right. You're asking some legitimate questions on finances that you're entitled to.
That's right, I'm entitled to it. Every one of us is entitled to it.
Yes. And we're not getting the answers, and we're not getting these people's feet held to the fire. And I think even some of our council people are getting a little frustrated too. Because, you know, in the case of the police chief who's getting a full salary, and not blaming her, because I don't know if she did anything wrong or not. But the point is, we're paying a person who's not coming to work.
Right.
And we're paying full salary with bennies, and that's not right.
You're right.
We need more accountability. We need our people to be more accountable to that.
That's why we need new people. We need new people in this town to run for office and really educate the citizens in New London that you can't keep going with the same kind of people you vote in every year.
You know, I have this paper here that was on my computer, on my copier, and I don't remember printing it out. I don't know how the hell it got there. But it's about grant money, I believe, from the state of Connecticut to New London, Connecticut. And right here it has property tax relief for veterans, $5,438. Payment in lieu of taxes pilot on state-owned property, $45,000. Payment in lieu of taxes on state-owned property. No, that was $383. No, $383,000. Payment in lieu of taxes on private colleges and general and chronic disease hospitals, $4,888,000 plus change. Now, if we're getting this money in lieu of taxes, where's it going?
Well, the towns that did the amount are supposed to be getting the towns like Groton, for example, gets a pilot for West Point and the state properties and
I'm talking about New London. I really don't care about Groton.
No, I got you.
I don't mean the people in Groton. I mean, this is a New London issue.
Well, Groton doesn't see this show anyway.
Oh, well, good.
Easy. I was a Groton-born guy, so I know. No, you're right. In New London, you have the state temple and the state parks and stuff here, and the city of New London is supposed to be receiving money, and I believe they do receive money.
They do. Not enough.
Well, it says here, just for the hospitals and colleges, they're receiving almost $5 million.
Yes.
And then there's another thing here that says magnet schools operating, $2 million. They're sending us $2 million for the magnet schools?
But then now this New London Board of Education wants another 7% for this year.
Yes.
Where are they wasting their money? Our money.
Well,
On administration. It's on administration.
They got regional economic development projects, almost $900,000. What projects? What are they working on? I don't see any projects.
Well, they may be talking about the schools and the renovations. I'm not really sure.
Well,
the Board of Ed's budget, I'm not really, not really up on what they're doing with the money. That's going to be a whole new ball of wax because they've redone the whole program when they went to the magnet system.
Yeah.
See, the final tally on this paperwork I have here says total exempt programs, $41 million. Total state financial assistance, $55.5 million. And we're paying our taxes, and we're also, the city is also, $55 million on top of what else we're giving out. Where the hell is all the money going? And you can't even clear some sidewalks?
That's...
No. Well, no, apparently they can't. If you remember the Housing Authority, I think a few years back, there was $1 million that was owed by the Housing Authority to the City of New London, I believe, for water, if I remember.
Yeah, it was something like that.
And we forgave them the debt. I think we ended up forgiving that debt. So, because
I think we did it more than once.
We probably did, and I think we did, if memory serves me correct, and I don't know, because I'm one of them old people now.
Join the ranks.
Well, if memory serves me correct, I think that we did forgive that money, and it was so that the people, the residents, wouldn't be charged extra and would have to suffer for it.
Right.
You know, the ironic part about this whole Gordon Court is if you had people that have snow removal businesses decided they were going to volunteer their time and their people and go in there and clean that up, the mayor would probably come out and say, oh, you can't do that because it's a liability.
It'd be union or say something.
Or the union wouldn't like that. Well, I'm sorry. If the union, I got no gripes with the union, except for the fact that if you don't have enough men to do the job and somebody is offering to help you that lives in this city, because we're supposed to all love our city, take the help. They're not taking your job, they're just giving you some help, some relief.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, we got less than 2 minutes, so we'll talk to you next week.
All right, I wanted to call back on that opinion. You guys have a good show tonight. All right.
I'll see you Thursday, Brian.
Take it
I'll see
easy.
you Thursday.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Bye.
Yeah, I'm going to have Brian on my show Thursday.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I was going to tell him I'd join us next week here.
Hey, he still can.
He still can.
Brian comes with a different perspective, which is nice. You know,
Yes.
I mean, we ramble on, but it's nice to have someone that will maybe show us that maybe we're going in the wrong direction, or we don't know as much as we think we know.
Well, I don't think we're wrong
and he
in this
knows,
situation.
and he's looking at things from a different set of eyes.
We'll go through that next week. But no, I don't think we're wrong on this situation.
No,
I really don't.
You did a really nice job, by the way, I want to tell you.
Well, thanks. But
I think you opened up a big can of worms.
I hope so.
You did.
I hope.
I'm glad you did.
Only if the right people are watching this.
I hope some people that have snow removal businesses are watching this or hear about this and decide to take it upon themselves. Screw the liability thing. They're covered. They have businesses. They have insurances. Go in there and clean this up. Make the people that work in this city, make them look bad for a change. Maybe that will shake them out of it. Maybe that will shake the mayor out of it. Maybe that will shake a bowl of Susie here. You know?
Well, but for all the people out there, we've got less than a minute. Again, for the Gordon Court and Riosy Court people, if you're watching, please bombard Sue Chantel's phone number, 443-2851. Complain. Call the Department of Aging, Betsy Ritter. Call up your
Betsy
Ernie
Ritter,
Hewitt.
too.
He's the congressman?
No, representative.
Representative for New London. And call up the city council member.
Call up Andre Beauregard, too.
Baumgartner.
Baumgartner.
Yeah, the one, he doesn't do anything with New London. And I mean, you've got 7 councilors.
And folks,
And Anthony Richardson had a concussion also.
Get your families involved in this. Maybe your families might not even know what's going on.
Maybe. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.